morning, G45ers. It's Carrie Salee here today in my kind of messy Creative Life studios. Today I am super excited to get a chance to share with you guys my 4 favorite ways to use Graphic 45's cardstock flowers. As you can see, they kind of come like this, and you just pop them out. Obviously I've used this one. Keep this because it makes a fun stencil, just an extra tip there. So I'm going to start out by showing you what I think is personally just the easiest, and it's what I use on a lot of my projects. It's actually a piece of foam, like a really soft piece of foam, similar to like that foam you get with like foam letters in the kids craft department and that kind of stuff. As you can tell, it's well loved. So you're going to need a piece of foam and a pencil. Just a pencil with a decent eraser. Actually one that's been used before actually works better because it's a little more rounded. So all you're going to do is you're going to take your, let's do this pretty little peacock guy. You're going to take your flower and you're going to place it down so that the pattern that you want showing is facing down right now. You're going to place it on your foam, and then you're going to take it, zoom in just a little bit for you. You're going to take it and you're just going to lightly press. I try to do almost like a triangle. So 1, 2, 3 to curl your flower petal up. So 1, 2, 3, and you do that all around. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. Now if you're going to ink it, I would suggest inking it before you do this part. But then I'm going to flip it over for you and you're going to see it's going to kind of sit like this. But then all you're going to do is you're going to take it, you're going to flip it over so it kind of looks like a turtle shell. And then you're just going to take your pencil and poke it right down there in the middle. So as you can see, it looks like this. Very crunchy. And you can go back if you wanted a little bit more dimensioned, you can do it, but I think this actually works really good because it worked great for your scrapbook pages. It's because it's not too thick, but it still gives you a good dimension. I'm going to show you a little project. For each of these flowers, I actually have a little tag that I've made for you. This is one, obviously, oh, I forgot to tell you, I'm using the Couture collection because it's one I hadn't used before and I thought it would be fun to use. As you can see, all I did with that same thing, and then just take them and layer them. I'm going to show you a side view so you can see it's a good bit of dimension, but not crazy amount, so that, you know, your project doesn't get too chunky, or if you're using it on a scrapbook page, you can still put it in your page protectors and that kind of stuff. So that is way number 1. I guess it's called the foam technique. I don't really know what you would call it. So my second one gets a very similar look, but it has less of the crinkled edges and that kind of stuff. So for this one, you're going to need just some kind of spray bottle with water, and a flower, obviously. And strangely enough, you're going to need, this is an egg carton, just an empty egg carton. This is like one of the styrofoam ones. I don't think you could do this with the, well, you might be able to do it with the other kind that's more of like a cardboard kind, but this is just the kind I've always used. So simply all you're going to do is you're going to take your water, you're going to spritz your flower. Again, if you're going to ink it or any of that kind of stuff, this would be the time that you would do it. It's also a good time if you want to use like a sprayable ink. You can just lightly spray it on your nonstick mat or whatever it is you use for your projects and kind of smear it through there. It gives really good instant aging. Not too bad. Now this one is one I don't use very often because it's a little bit of a waiting game. You're just going to take your flower and you're going to poke it down in one of your little egg carton holes. Is that what you call them? I don't really know. As you can see, I have 2 that are already waiting. Now this has to dry completely before you can do the next step. So this is a good thing to do maybe like the day before or something of that nature. Or you can hit it with a hot glue gun, but you just have to be very careful, or a heat gun, sorry, not a hot glue gun, because see, you can accidentally burn your egg carton, which obviously I have done. So let's take out the ones that we have already used. And as you can see, they kind of look like little cups. So they have a little bit more dimension than our first one. So you can keep it that way if you want, but I like to take something small like a, wrong way, like a what is this, a color pencil, and just bend it back. Just to kind of fluff the petals a little bit. And I'm just rolling it around it and then kind of folding it back up. And you're gonna do the same thing with your big one. And I'm not gonna finish that one for time's sake. But then you'll just take them and you can layer them all sorts of different ways. With all of them, let me find, this is the one that is made with this technique. Again, Couture collection. You can see it does give a little bit more depth as far as like the bending. And you can see it's a little bit smoother, so you don't get the crinkles like you do with the foam one. But obviously the foam one is a little bit faster. And sometimes that's better because we like speed. Alright, so on to number 3. Now this one is my favorite because it's the one that I've just always used. To me, it works best if you're wanting very much like a grungy kind of look or a distressed or something like that. So again, you're going to take your water bottle. You're going to spray it, get it nice and wet. Because what you're going to do is then you're going to take it. I like to kind of rub it around my surface a little bit. You're going to take it and you are just going to begin to just crinkle it. Bend it back and forth. Now be gentle because, you know, paper when wet is very, very tender and it can get broken really easily. So you're just going to take it, and then I like to take the center. Let me zoom in for you just a little bit. Ooh, wrong way. There we go. I actually like to take the center and almost pinch it. See how that's kind of folding it all in and making it almost like a draped fabric kind of feel in the middle. Let's zoom out just a little bit. Now what I like to do, especially if you're going for that old kind of surface feel, I like to take a metallic ink spray. Like this is my all-time favorite. It's called Coffee Shop by Tattered Angels. I take that, shake it, make sure you shake it or else all those yummy glittery sediments are at the bottom and not in your little pile here on your desk. You're going to do that, and then you're just going to lightly, let me squish it. You're just going to lightly lay it in your, whatever your puddle, I guess is what you would call it. And I like to not saturate it, just let it naturally hit kind of where those high points are. Sometimes you have to manhandle it just a little bit. And you can see how it now has shimmer and, see if you can see, there you go. Ooh, that's a good shot. See that, all that shiny? So then what you're going to do is you're going to take it from here, and if you're in a hurry, or if you're not in a hurry, you can let it just air dry. But I like to hit it with a heat gun and kind of keep playing with it so it gets nice and scrunchy. And do that until it's completely dry, because if it's the least bit wet, it's not going to adhere well to your other ones. So let me show you. This is the tag I made with those. Get a little closer here. You see that all right? You can see all the glimmers and that kind of stuff in it. And again, it's the same thing, and you can see very different from this kind of more, I don't know what you would call the difference. I don't really know what you call it. But one is, you know, more distressed and grungy, and the other is definitely more classic and contemporary, I guess might be a good way to look at it. Alright, one more, and this one is super, super fast. Now this one I'm just going to show to you because it doesn't really require a whole lot of, I guess, technique. All I did was I took my flowers, just popped them out, and then I just ran them through an embosser. This one is like a basket weave. So what that does is if you don't want the lift of doing any of these 3D styles, but you still want to add some texture and you want a little something different, I just ran these through my embosser and then hit them with a little bit of ink. And it really just adds a little bit of texture and a little bit of design element without having to go crazy and your hands looking like this and taking time with water and all that kind of stuff. And you probably have embossing folders anyway. So that is my technique tip video, whichever you want to call it. So here's here's just a little review, 4 ways. Run it through your embossing folder, which is always fun and super easy. This one we did with our egg carton. Little time consuming because it requires drying, but it gives you a very smooth finish. Our Getting Grungy look, where you can, I'm going to zoom in so you can see all the sparkles. Really great. Ooh, that looks really good. All the different sparkles, and it's really grungy and really textured. So that's super great for those of you that are into, you know, just the vintage feel. And then last but not least, this is my go-to for getting it done fast. It's the one where we took our piece of foam with our pencil and just got the job done and added just a little bit of dimension and a butterfly because it's pretty. So there you go. So I hope you guys have enjoyed this. I have some more technique videos coming for Graph 45 soon. So I look forward to seeing what you guys can do with these 4 techniques. And be sure to follow me here on YouTube and at thecreativelifear.blogspot.com. Have a great day.